Yeah, I'm going to explain it in a couple of minutes when everybody has joined.
It will show up in my mailbox in about half an hour.
Yeah, half an hour is too early for the interim. You need to check it 1 minute before it starts.
This is Ira. I did see your note and read it, Karsten.
Great. Yeah, I thought this was a 5 minute thing, but it really took me more than an hour to pull this off. It's more complicated than one thinks.
Okay. I guess we'll probably have as many people here as what we expect to have. So let's go ahead and get started. Francesca is having poor audio quality because she's decided she should schedule for traveling in the middle of after having scheduled the meeting, which is not nice of her, but that's okay. So basically what we've got is
Jim, can you go to your audio settings and switch off the automatic change of the volume?
am I being
I
asked
think
about
that doesn't quite work on your computer, like it doesn't on mine.
There's that, and there's also the fact that it's early in the morning and my voice hasn't woken up yet. It normally goes up about half an octave to 3/4 of an octave in the first hour and a half of the morning, which makes a huge difference when I try to talk into one of these things.
Yeah, yes, you're still fading. Did you switch off that setting?
Yes, I switched off the setting.
Okay.
So basically, we need to just go through the list of what's still open and who has open reviews.
Yeah, before we do that, let me quickly explain what I said in the message 15 minutes ago. So I submitted 3 new versions of the CBOR document. -10 is just the roll-up of the changes that were made based on the working group last call comments. So this still needs to be checked for content. And then we have to move from RFC XML version 2 to RFC XML version 3. And because that brings a lot of formatting changes, I thought it would be good to have those formatting changes isolated in a sequence of version updates. So -12 is the same thing as -10, I hope, just with v3 formatting. And because v3 makes a lot of small changes to the list symbols, I put in another version in between -11, which just has those list symbol changes, or at least most of them. And so there are a number of versions to look at now, but 10 should be exactly identical to 12 with respect to content, and should just be consistent with the new conventions. And of course, the nice thing about the new conventions is that we now have a nice HTML version to look at if that is your thing.
Okay, so whose reviews did you cover in 10? I know mine is in there. Were there any others?
There were some typos and stuff. Let me check the history. Yeah, there were typos from Jeremy, from somebody else. So it's a pretty quick diff. If you look at the diff that I reference in the email message. Something's broken with the tool server right now.
Okay, so maybe it's not just me, huh?
It's not just you, Michael. Well, maybe you broke it, but I think it's switching between two servers and one of them is broken or something like that, because it sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, I can't pull this up right now, but it really should be Jim's changes and a few typos.
Okay, so what are the open issues that we still need to close?
Well, the main issue is the map duplicate thing where I haven't managed to generate a text proposal yet. I think we were pretty clear in the meeting what we wanted to do, but this still has to be expressed in text, so that will be the next thing to do. And there is Francesca's review. I think that should be it. Oh, I also started talking to implementers to review this version, and I expect that implementers will submit some comments during the next few weeks. This is really hard to do based on our working group deadline. So I would expect some random observations from implementers to come in the next couple of weeks.
There are 2 open issues from Lawrence in the database still.
Yes. Let me find that. I was hoping he might be here to explain those. So I have no idea what the subkind thing is.
I would agree with you. I have no idea what that is. I can see putting a hyphen in there, but not space.
And then there is a request to sweep for remaining terminology variation in enclosed value versus enclosed data item versus tag content. So that's actually still a to-do.
Okay, so right now, if I understand you, you've got 3 to-dos on your, do you believe you have 3 to-dos on your list? Duplicate keys, Francesca's review, and issue 138.
Yes, and there's also to do to actually get implementers to submit comments. So the ones I've got were pretty positive. I asked one guy to actually send them to the mailing list. You may have seen them. So I think it's good to get other implementers to look at this and see what they like, what they don't like. So if you happen to know some implementers, please nudge them as well.
The implementer I use has already been very vocal.
Good.
Peter's been very forthcoming on things.
So Lawrence is joining.
Hello, sorry I was late. My FIDO meeting ran over and get more coffee.
Yeah, we were just wondering about issue 139.
Look at that. Just give me a second here.
Subkind versus subkind.
Oh, okay. I mean, when I looked up in the dictionary, subkind isn't a word.
No,
Yeah.
it's in mine. I even put a reference to a dictionary in the issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not Merriam-Webster.
Yeah, I think there's even a Wikipedia page on subkind.
Type. I don't think it's unclear. I just think it's not in a lot of. It wasn't in the dictionaries that I looked at.
English is not German. You can't just make up words by stringing some other ones together.
Sure you can.
You have to steal the word from another language.
Yes, there we go. Yes.
You just do it in German and then translate.
Well,
That's right, okay? Process.
the problem is that there are Germans who are shaping the English language as well, and they tend to introduce all kinds of things. So yeah, I'm finding subkind everywhere. So I'm not sure the fact that Merriam-Webster hasn't picked it up yet is very consequential.
I also found it in multiple places.
Yeah, I've seen it multiple
Six or
places.
seven, 6 or 7 definitions in Google to dictionaries and stuff.
In dictionary.com.
I am, however, disappointed to learn that the German for subkind is subkind.
I'm not sure that's true. It's such an obvious concept. What does my dictionary say? Unterart. Unterart.
I think we can probably just punt that one to the RFC editor and let them decide whether it's a word.
Yes, okay. So Lawrence, can I close this?
Sure.
Pardon? I didn't hear you.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Francesca, you said that you thought that Jeffrey had a review. I cannot find it.
There is one from November 24th. I missed that.
The only things that I have from him are handling duplicate key maps. Maybe it didn't get into my world.
He sent something to the list on November 24th. Sending the URL to the chat. So that makes another to-do item for me.
Okay. When do you think you're going to have text for key maps? Not that anyone's going to do anything in the next 2 weeks.
Well, I hope before the next 2 weeks. I hope tomorrow.
Okay. Because right now, that's the only big item I'm seeing that's on the list.
Yes.
Okay. So if you can get that out and have people review it. We have a meeting scheduled for the 15th of January. Do you want a second working group last call after that, or do you just want a call for people to review that specific piece of text?
That's a good question. So I don't think we have made any substantive change, except for the maps thing, which may be considered a substantive change. So depending on how we handle the maps info and how good the agreement is on that, I think we might actually need a second working group last call.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and you get out a version, at least with the new maps stuff. If you don't get the other things, that's not going to worry me as much. Putting the new map stuff in, I think, is going to be important to implementers.
Yes.
And then we can try to get comments before the 15th, and on the 15th, we can decide whether we're ready to send it up to the IESG. Does anybody have any objections to that fair plan?
Nope.
Good.
I lost my tool. I lost the Etherpad too. Okay. Does anybody have any other issues they want to raise at this time?
Well, I just want to mention that I haven't done my full reread yet, so we might get some late working group last call comments from me.
Okay.
Jim and Karsten, I have a question. Is this the last intended activity of CBOR working group, or will there be a recharter, or is there more coming?
we have already had a recharter.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, never mind. You're right, we did. Never mind.
So there are a couple things on the list.
Okay.
The one piece of good news I saw, I think it was yesterday, is we should see an off 48 for CBOR sequences start in the next week or so, since it is now actually with the final editors in the RFC editor queue.
Yeah, they are still waiting for Alexei to tick off a couple of comments that came in late. So I'm not sure how quickly Alexei will respond, and that will control how quickly the RFC editor can go ahead.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if anybody happens to talk to Alexei, you might want to remind him. Yeah, and when CBOR is done, we definitely should focus on CDDL again. And there are still lots of interesting tags coming in. So today I got a tag review request for somebody who wants to define tags for freak versions of UTF-8, like CISU-8 and WTF-8 and what else is out there. Very interesting.
Okay. So since I don't think we have any other business, why don't we go ahead and close up for the day, and we'll talk to you on the 15th. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.